Okay.
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Haslam. Hello, everybody. We are here with our second video in this series of questions and answers and topics. And I believe today we have our question, how can I use an energy cell? But before you answer it, I see that you're at your mansion today.
Yes, I just thought this is a really, I was looking for photographs to put behind us as a background. And I was thinking, what do we show? How to use an energy cell, and what does an energy cell mean in people's lives? And basically, this energy cell, this energy cell really gives the people the ability to live in a different way. So I put this picture behind me because, the people in the environmental world, they go, well, we should be minimizing everything. We should be cutting back on our lighting, our heating, our cars, and everything else. And actually, that's not necessarily the way it needs to work, because if you've got an energy cell that's basically in your house, your house effectively uses water every day. And basically, we use the water that comes into your house to basically extract energy from it. And that there's far more water coming into your house, and therefore far more energy coming into your house through the water than there actually is than the energy you need. It's 2 or 3 times more. And so if you basically live in a house, and most people I'm trying to talk to here probably are in, I'm trying to talk to everyone in the world, but we'll communicate this to everybody in the world, and everybody's got different energy requirements. So Rumbudzi Mutonga, for example, one of the lovely ladies that's helping us on the social media side, she's in Zimbabwe. The average salary or average monthly earning in Zimbabwe is probably, I don't know, $50 or something. It's like very, very low. A lot of people there are just really trying to concern about, how they can cook their maize in their village, for example. So really, there's this example behind me of this beautiful mansion, and there's the example of somebody sitting in a traditional African village, basically trying to work out how to cook their food. And the energy cell, if it was in a village, for example, then everybody in the village could basically cook their food and do whatever they want to do 24/7, because they're going to have high temperature water basically for washing and sterilizing their clothes and sterilizing their medicines and sterilizing, basically cooking their foods in. So that's an important thing to remember, because with energy cells, they don't have to go and cut down forests to basically, to survive, because they can get their heating and their cooking energy from water. And then basically there's the issue of biomass, the amount of people which have got bad health because of biomass in their biomass cookers in their small houses, their huts. Well, that's causing a huge number of illnesses around the world, and that's causing a lot of pollution as well, because you look on the satellite of India and parts of Africa, and you can just see the smog going in the wind that thousands of miles basically from the houses. And by having clean, pure energy from an energy cell, it just means anything that's going into the environment is steam. So that's an important thing. But where is the most of the energy in the world being used? It's being consumed in countries that are wealthy, like Europe and regions, North America and Japan and other areas. And people are becoming more affluent. Everybody in the world wants not everybody, but a lot of people in the world want an affluent lifestyle. They want to drive a nice car. They want to drive the nice car, whether it's a Bugatti or whether it's a Ford or whether it's a Tata or whatever. They want to drive a nice car, and they want to live in a nice house. They want to keep their lights on. They don't want to be shivering away in energy poverty. And one of the things we use on Twitter is basically about energy poverty. We can end energy poverty, and I truly believe that, because an energy cell is not expensive to make, and in our deployment model, we should be able to deploy energy cells in in Europe and North America, Japan, etc., at a certain price, and we'll use that price to subsidize people in third world countries or second world countries that necessarily can't afford to have energy to cook on, that are having to cut down forests and use biomass to cook on. So we're going to have this altruistic business type model where we charge a fair price in all the markets, but a fair price in Africa is different to a fair price and even in Africa, a fair price in Alexandria is different to a fair price in Lusaka, for example, or Victoria Falls or somewhere. So your question about where we can use an energy cell, it could be used in the houses, it can be used in the cars for people, and 50% of all the world's energy is being used to keep the lights on, to heat the houses, to put in your cars, your transport. So those areas are areas that we're focusing on really immediately, and we've had quite a few people on Twitter ask us, like, could we use an energy cell? Could we put it in our house? And we're saying, yeah, we're going to be doing some beta testing, so we can get units deployed, subject to where the people are located and what grants they've got available, etc., to do beta testing on our energy cells. And one of the fun things, I mean, I'm very passionate about cars, and I love V8s and screaming V12s and V10s and things like that, but also a single cylinder little motorbike with an energy cell on it going down the road as well is equally peaceful and beautiful idea. And I think we just need to reframe where we are as a civilization, humanity. We've been living off basically a low-cost energy source, which is hydrocarbons, which is an accumulation of sunlight in down vegetable matter, one might say, over millions and billions of years. And we've basically extracted that energy from the planet Earth. We've basically abused it to some extent. We've basically really gone overboard. And now we've got an energy source, which in energy cells, which is effectively water, which is an almost infinite, abundant energy source. Because people go, what happens if you're in a dry country? Well, actually, we're almost everywhere in the world you are, whether you're in the Atacama Desert, which is a really bad example because actually there's not enough moisture in the air in the Atacama Desert. But even in most dry, arid countries, you've got enough moisture in the air that you can compress out of the air to take the water out of the air, which is enough energy to put in an energy cell to power the system. So really, if you're in dry parts of India, Africa, China, Mongolia, South America, United States of America, Las Vegas, for example, Utah, you can take the energy, you can take the water out of the air, compress it, put it in an energy cell. Your car can go down the road. Basically, most cars have got a compressor in them these days, the air conditioning unit. And if it doesn't, we can fit one. So you're compressing the air compressing the water out of the air, and that can just go into your car's water tank, fuel tank, and power the car going down the road. And a lithium-ion battery, as I think I mentioned yesterday, a good one maybe has 200 watts per kilogram of energy storage capability. And at the moment, through very basic testing we've done, independently validated testing a year and a half ago, we had 2.5 times that amount of energy storage just in water. So really, I mean, if you're a car lover or a house lover and you want to basically have a lovely warm house or a nice car to drive around in, or even a basic car to drive around in, then energy cells are the way to do that.
Yeah, awesome. And what reminds me, I saw pictures of sketches of how big this is going to be. And in our first video, we had a glimpse of that. But how do you see that? Like, if you would measure it, like, we're talking about very small units for cars.
Yeah, we're talking about basically in the range of a house. Like a luxury house behind me, it's going to be using 200 or 300 kilowatts of energy a day. Assuming it's got a swimming pool, it's got its heaters and everything else inside it, or its air conditioning units. So it's a few hundred kilowatts a day. The average house in Europe uses less than 50 kilowatts a day. So 50% of the houses in Europe use less than 50 kilowatts. And they have going into them 220 liters of water a day. So they could basically increase their energy usage to 100 kilowatts a day just on the wastewater, basically, of the house. So without adding any additional environmental impact or imprint, that could happen. And in the big houses, you have more kids or more people living in bigger houses. They're using more water anyway. So as the house grows, the water consumption grows, the energy consumption grows, and we've got, without reducing the environmental impact, we can basically provide all the energy that a house needs or a car needs. And when you ask the question, how big is this energy cell? Maybe you can just show it at the end of the video again.
Yeah. No, but I saw these beautiful boxes on the website, or maybe it's still sketch. Like
yeah,
you have a
these are renderings we were doing basically, and there's even one which goes in someone's hand.
Yeah, so it's scalable really to what is needed.
Yeah, at the 10 kilowatt to 100 kilowatt scale, we've got one cubic centimeter. That's the end of my thumb. Is the reactive zone inside an energy cell. So that's why we know we can make this really effective. I mean, I can't ever see it going in a laptop, for example, but it can go in every cooker in every house. And if it can go in a cooker in a house, then basically, look, cookers, even today, there are Argas and a whole range of different cookers that you can just plug your house domestic heating system into. So you can cook on our heat. You can heat your house from our heat, or you can plug it into an ammonia cycle heat exchanger, and you can cool the house from our heat.
Yeah.
So the system is really scalable, and over 50% of the world's energy requirement is for heating, cooling houses, and driving your cars.
Yeah.
That's the energy cell we've got at the moment. We don't need to scale it. We've got an energy cell. We can make it a bit smaller and more compact, and we can work with large manufacturers and small manufacturers to fit them in houses, house heating systems, house cooling systems, cars, etc. And we can scale them. But really, what we've got now is suitable for heating and cooling and powering 50% of the world's appliances.
Yeah. And if you talk shortly about, if you take it to the industrial side of things,
yeah,
how scalable is that? Like if you have your, I don't know, maybe you're building cars, you're one of the car brands and you have a factory, and is it usable for that as well? Are there multiple units? How do you see that?
Well, actually, you could have modular systems. So say, for example, the maximum output of our current system might be 100 kilowatts, for example. But you put 10 of them together, you've got redundancy, you've got more reliability, and you've got a megawatt of power.
Yeah, I'm also thinking hospitals. They have these little power plants in case the grid falls out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so when you start to get modularized, they call them quantum power sources. They're just means modularized. Mm-hmm. So like in most regions, they have big areas where you've got lots of containers of power plants. So they can basically bring them in when the energy is needed, and they can phase them out when the energy is not needed. So having a modularized system, for greenhouse, most greenhouse farmers, our system is absolutely ideal for them. 100 kilowatt modules means they can basically turn them on at night when the system needs heating. They can turn them on in the middle of the day when the system needs cooling, so heating and cooling. So they can do that. If you're running a JCB digger, for example, a Caterpillar tractor system, you probably want one or two energy cells in there. The energy cells at the moment, the average size of a forest clearing machine, sorry to mention forest clearing machines, but Caterpillar and JCB do that. Biofuels is a big thing. Whilst I dig myself out that hole, I've got to farm anyway. So basically, this current system is ideal for that. And if you go to bigger operations like bigger desalination plants, in the future, we'll be able to increase the size of our unit. But as I like to mention, our system's now the correct size for 50% of the world's energy demand. Let's get it out there. They say no one ever made any money by selling custom hamburgers. Let's just try and make a hamburger, an energy cell with a very few size ranges, and just get everyone in the world to be using them and engaging with us, plugging them into things. And as long as it's safe, let's get them out there. And And it's not doing any environmental damage. It's not doing any environmental harm. I think that's the big thing. We've got a technology that really isn't going to create much environmental impact to produce it, especially since we're looking into using at the lower energy side of the market for houses and things. We're looking at using glasses and ceramics, which have got a much lower environmental impact footprint than you would have in a car, for example. Sorry, in a stainless steel unit for a car, for example. It hasn't got so much vibration. So yeah, we're looking at all the environmental things, the circular economy, the life cycle of energy cells, and bringing down that footprint. But the main thing at the moment is let's get them into mass manufacture. Let's engage with business. Let's get companies manufacturing them. Let's get companies incorporating them into their products, so they can go into every house and car in the world, and every industrial machine in the world. And even through the Twitter followers, we had one guy already say, "Hey, I've got a printing machine in Glasgow, not Glasgow, one of the Scottish cities, and saying, look, how can I power my printing presses, my laminating machines with these units?" And yeah, I've engaged with him already on Twitter, and we're now going to engage and go further. So the more engagement we get on Twitter, the more feedback we get, the more people we can engage with, and the faster we can accelerate this technology into commercial production.
Very practical. I love that.
Yeah,
grounded. Yeah.
So for a Sunday, hopefully that's a good positive message for a Sunday. Just engage with us.
Absolutely. I can't wait to have one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Me too. They're in the lab at the moment, but we'll get them out of the lab and get them into use as quickly as we possibly can.
Thank you for answering this question.
You're welcome, and thanks to all the followers for retweeting and resharing and everything else. And yeah, let's get it out there and have a beautiful Sunday. Oh, and Bob, last thing, we did say we're going to do a live Twitter Spaces every day.
Yeah, we just follow up with this. I mean, it depends on when people see this video, but we're going to try to go.
Let's do 10:30 Central European time, because it means.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. It's better we do an afternoon slot. So, because basically everyone in the Americas is going to be too early to do the morning slot. So if we do the afternoon slot, if we do like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in Central European time, it means we can catch Asia in the evening and we can catch America in the morning.
Sounds brilliant. Yeah, we really want people to engage, to ask questions.
Let's do 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
3 o'clock Central European time every day. And the Friday can be a big one maybe, but actually just getting people to join in, ask their questions. And then we get as many people beta prototyping and manufacturing around the world as fast as possible. Spread
the word.
Cool. Well, great, Bob. Thanks very much. And thanks to all the viewers. And yeah, see you tomorrow.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.